Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We're back in the Relationship 101 series and we are talking about cheating. Shouldn't be anything that should make me excited, but I am going to be sharing my personal experiences today. So like, share, comment, subscribe, stay tuned, and let's get into this conversation. Cheating. First of all, I think a lot of people have different definitions of cheating, because for a lot of people, if there's no physicality, then it's not considered as cheating. But essentially, if you are doing anything that you can't do in front of the other person, in my opinion, you're cheating. Rightfully so. So that aside, it's a case of, and I don't believe that cheating is limited to men. Women cheat as well. But it's a case of, is there anything that should warrant cheating? In my opinion, no. If it's not working out, if you're not happy, if everything is going south, you've tried to work it out with counseling, with whatever means that you've used, and it doesn't work out, I believe that the right thing to do is to walk away. And walking away doesn't necessarily mean that you're quitting on that relationship. You may just need a break. You may have some differences that need to be aligned, and if you don't give yourselves the opportunity to get into alignment, then the likelihood is the fact that you're going to seek comfort elsewhere. And once you start to do that, I believe that you are disrespecting the relationship in general. Like, there's no if, but, maybe, I don't know. It's a disrespect to the person that you have solely said that you are spending your time with, the person that you've made a commitment with, be it boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife. Clearly, in the husband and wife segment, it's a lot more detrimental, because you've made some vows, which as a Christian, I believe that those vows were not just made to the people around you. You've made a vow to your maker, and you're saying that at this point in time you're going to be disrespecting that vow and disrespecting your maker. No. And disrespecting the person you're with. You need to cut it. Alright? I say this because I think I've had loads of conversations in the last few weeks where we've spoken about people that cheat, and actually this week there was some drama on Twitter with a Nigerian celebrity who had a girlfriend, and there was another girl, and the girl was like boldly saying, you're not the first one to have your man taken, blah 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 blah. I was like, wow. My trust. My trust. And it led the conversation as to, when you are being cheated on, who do you confront? Do you confront the lady? Do you confront your partner? Obviously lady if you're a woman. Or do you confront your partner in whichever facet? And I was like, personally, I wouldn't confront the person that I'm not in a relationship with, because I don't really have any business with the person. The business I have is with the person I'm with. And in saying this is where my personal experience comes in. So I remember a point when I was with somebody, and someone actually used someone else's account, claims to be her friend, where she sends me a message saying, he's my man, blah 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 blah. My God, I'm so funny in this life. He's my man. I'm in the same house as the guy. I was trying to destroy their relationship. Wow. Anyway, because of the kind of person I am, I didn't bother argue with the girl. I just said thank you. Like, thanks for letting me know. Like, thanks for giving me the heads up. And she was like, don't worry, girl. She was even calling me girl. God. And I remember going home that day, and I remember he had some friends around, so it was a case of I literally just went upstairs, and when he came upstairs, I think he knew I was angry. He knew. He wasted a lot of time downstairs before he came upstairs. I don't get angry often, but when I do, it's not nice. That's the reality. And then when he came upstairs, I just said, oh, there's a message for you on my phone. And I gave him the phone with the message, and the stuttering wasn't another level. And I was just like, really? And then he was trying to do explanations as to we met around the same time. She knows that I'm with you, blah, 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 blah. So that's the reason why she's trying to put some, trying to cause some friction and all that kind of stuff. And my key point I made at that point to him was the fact that clearly you didn't tell her early enough that you have made a decision, and you've given her some level of ammunition where she feels like she has the boldness to come and speak to me. And at that point, it was a case of, what should I have done? I stayed in that relationship. I stayed in that relationship for a while, to be fair. Even though that was probably the one that was evidence as to something had happened. But there were other things that happened that I should literally not have tolerated. And after like thinking about stuff, like obviously you've moved on, you've grown up and that kind of stuff, I believe that at that point, especially because I wasn't married, I had every right to walk away from that. Because coming to think about it, the only thing that the Bible gives you permission to like walk away from a marriage essentially is infidelity. And that was essentially what I was having to deal with. And I feel like to a great extent, some of the reasons why I stayed was because I made excuses for the person and the person's shortcomings because of some information I knew about the person and the person's past and all that kind of stuff. Does that mean that I didn't really value myself at that point in time? To a great extent, yeah, because I prioritized the person over myself. And one of the things that I always say to people is the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. At that point, I was loving somebody else more than I was loving myself. Hence, I was willing to deal with that at that point in time. That being said, I don't think anyone could physically answer that question for anybody that has been cheated on, whether they should stay in a relationship or not. I think that that's a very personal thing, because you know all the things surrounding that, and you know whether you can move past it or not. The key things that I will always say is the fact that what led that other person to cheating. We were talking about the fact that in this day and age, just like that Nigerian celebrity I was talking about, the girl knew that this guy had a woman, but the girl pursued anyway. And there are loads of people like that. You know what I even heard? Oh God, that as these two girls are arguing on Twitter, other girls are messaging this guy. Someone created a fake account like he was the guy, messaging the guy saying, don't mind the people that are fighting, me, I'm available. I was like, wow. In the midst of calamity, there are still some queens and sisters that are trying to add more wahala to the equation. And that being said, it's a case of nowadays, yes, I used to think that, oh, Jenny was a guy that used to be the pursuer per se. But where we are right now, we have both men and women that pursue. So there's certain people that would know this person has a woman, this person has a man, and they will still be on it like, he's everybody's. And to me, I feel like that's wrong. It's a case of, if you know someone has outrightly made a commitment to somebody, I think that should be a case of, you know what, it is what it is. I know that there's shortages of men in the terms of the ratio of women to men, but you know what, the right person at the right time will be with you. I don't feel like you need to reduce your standards. I don't feel like you need to be manipulative, trying to seduce someone else's person in the bids of you acquiring the person for yourself. Ha! Fear God. But that being said, would you fight the person that is trying it on your man or your woman? Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'm actually intrigued to see this, because a lot of people are like, normalize beating the side piece. I don't advocate violence, guys. No, violence is never the way. But do you feel like the person should be confronted? Do you feel like that? I feel like the onus is really on the person that you made a commitment with. That being said, I was speaking to my cousin and we're talking about what happens when a woman is actively pursuing your man. Like, you're maybe posting stuff like couple stuff and the person is maybe smirking, leaving all them side comments. What do you do in that instance? A lot of the times, to me personally, I would ignore it. And it's a case of not necessarily because of insecurity. Make my part, like, what's the deal with you and this person? If there's a problem with the person, please fix it. Don't let it become a us problem. Fix it. Because to me, it's like, my only business is with the person I'm with. And I know that there are loads of people that may not actually agree with that, but that's where I honestly stand. And I say all of this to say this. I feel like it's in people's DNA right now to cheat. And you have to be in a position to pick someone who you are on the same page as. Like, you guys understand where you stand in that respect. Because open relationships are a norm now. I don't know how people do it, but they're a norm. But to me, I believe Adam, Eve, wife, husband does it. The violation is a madness, because I was thinking about it the other day. If the person is violating and is having intercourse outside of the relationship, the person is actually leaving you vulnerable in terms of STDs and all that kind of stuff. I realized that, like, a lot of celebrities nowadays, they're saying they have like 5 kids outside of their marriage and all that kind of stuff. So that means that the 5 or multiple different people that they're having intercourse with, they're having it unprotected. Fear God. People. Fear God. Like, that's actually, that like drove me crazy thinking about it. Saying that, I actually confronted the person I was with then, like, when we started talking again, because we became amicable afterwards, that, did you actually used to like protect yourself? And trust me, there was silence. So essentially, I feel like when you are making these decisions to step out, you're not just potentially going to hurt the person physically, emotionally rather, but you could potentially hurt the person physically, where you bring something home, and that obviously then could potentially affect the person's body and that kind of stuff if it's not treated like immediately. And it's just a can of worms that are open that I believe is not necessary. And I feel that in this day and age, it takes a very strong person to remain in a monogamous relationship. It's not impossible, it's definitely hard, because trust me, there are beautiful creatures everywhere that can be tempting. But again, I feel like you should know your limits and flee from all appearances of evil. You know the things that easily make you give a side eye. And if you know, don't put yourself in that position where that becomes a thing that you use to violate the person that you're with. So my 2 cents is the fact that try and find someone who respects the relationship that you want. If you want an open relationship, then this essentially wouldn't apply to you, because you are open to the fact that the person may see other people, obviously with your knowledge. But if you're seeking a relationship where you want it to be monogamous, you essentially have to find someone who understands that, respects that, and is willing to abide by that. But literally, I want the comment section to go crazy. Tell me what you think. Let's get this conversation started. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye guys.